Hi there. I wanted to do a heart map session quickly so that we can work through some of our fears, our doubts, our frustrations, whatever it is that shows up. I have to get home because it's going to be dark soon. Anyway, so this session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this first deck and choose the focus of the session, which is relationship father. And that's interesting because that card is coming up very, very often for me, but I don't feel like it's actually the relationship with our biological father. I believe it's actually talking about the relationship with like this perfect father that is loving, that is unconditional love. And it doesn't matter what you call it. Like sometimes I call it God, and you don't have to, because I feel like so many people talk about God, but they use it in such a scary fashion, I guess. But I find that it's so incredibly important to feel an energy that we place our faith in. So whether it's the universe or the stars or creator or whatever it is to you, I feel like, there's so much going on in our lives and in the world. And I don't know how I would have gotten through all of the things that I went through without believing that there was a purpose for all of it. And that there was always something in the moment that I felt held by. So just really take this time to imagine how it would feel to be completely held in the arms of an unconditional, loving father and mother. Let's throw the mother in here too. And just really feel this energy of letting go and knowing that you are being held and you are being taken care of, and that there's a plan for a purpose, and that you are loved. And that's what we're here to do with this session right now, is just help us really truly feel that energy. So the pattern that is creating issues for us is that we accept lack. So what that can mean is we accept lack when it comes to our finances. That's always what shows up for me when I'm talking about lack. But we also accept lack when we're talking about relationships, that we really truly don't know how it feels to be completely held and safe in somebody's arms. And that is what we get to find in the moment, is to feel this incredible experience of everything is just okay because it is. So I'm just going to keep working through the session, because what we're going to bring up now is where this is stored, where this energy of lack is stored in our bodies. And what's coming up is our spleen, which actually makes sense, because in Chinese medicine, the spleen is the organ that helps us think. But when it's in excess, it turns into worry. So we want to think things through. We want to analyze things. We want to be able to experience the truth and find inner wisdom. But if we're thinking in our thoughts that come from fear and lack, then what we're actually doing is we're worrying, which is pulling us into more fear, which then affects our ability to digest our food properly and really truly digest life, meaning we can't accept anything that's going on. So the energy that we're going to use to heal that is the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is the energy of the feminine and the masculine, so it's sensual and sexual energy that flows through our body, and we need both. The feminine energy is about receiving. The masculine energy is about doing and giving. So that's also linking into this balance of having this loving mother and loving father energy, replacing the experience that we had with our earth parents, because our earth parents did the very best that they knew how to do. We did the very best that we knew how to do as parents, but there is no perfection on earth. There is no such thing as unconditional love on earth. We can get as close as we can to it, But this is why we get to replace our experiences now with this loving father and loving mother that we all call something different. So the next card that I'm pulling is what we're going to do moving forward, and that is to find peace. So, we have peace in our minds, we have peace in our hearts, we can create peace in our lives. But what we actually have to do is connect to it. Like, our true selves, we're love, we're joy, we're peace, and we know the truth. That is how we came in to this planet. That is how we came into existence, as perfection, as this piece of the divine. And then we started to learn things. We started to become afraid. We started to, hear people fighting. We started to inherit people's belief systems and their fears and their inability to emotionally regulate themselves. So we started to believe things like we're not good enough, that life is chaotic, and everything. Well, the things that we felt the most often and the strongest as we were growing up is actually what our cells crave. It's actually what our neural pathways are trying to create for us through our thought patterns and our beliefs. And our heart energy actually matches that energy. So we may say that we want love, but if we're programmed with fear and anger and chaos, that's actually what we're attracting to us. So it's so easy to try to change the outer world, but it's actually the inner world that we need to work with. And when you start to heal those thought patterns, the wounds that we hold in our hearts and the receptors on our cells, which is what I'm doing with each of these sessions, that's when we're going to see something different showing up in our lives, because we're going to believe that we deserve something other than chaos. We're going to believe that we deserve to have true love in our lives. We're going to believe that our children should be healthy and that we should live in a world that makes sense. And collectively, as we're healing our wounds and our fears and our doubts, we're going to heal the planet. And it's not your job to worry about healing the planet. It's not even my job either. It's our job to become the most love that we possibly can, to create the most peace in our minds as we can, to experience the most joy in our hearts as we can, to just be in this moment where love lives and truth speaks as much as we possibly can, because then we're going to start to see a world that matches that. So this is why I'm doing these sessions every day. So today we were working on really shifting our experience to this divine mother and divine father, and just really spend as much time throughout the day just feeling how it would feel to be held. Just feel how it would feel to be held by parents that really, really, truly loved you. And I'm not saying your parents didn't love you, because they did. But this is a different love. This is a love with... And that's what I'm here to keep talking about every day is that love. Because we have spirit in our hearts and we want to access that spirit. We want to ignite that spirit. But what I believe to be true is that there is this beautiful divine power in the universe that created the actual universe and everything in it. And that is where miracles come from. But if we're not plugged into that, if we're not plugged into the miracle makers, then we're preventing them from happening in our lives. We're preventing them from showing up, because if we don't actually believe that there is an energy that creates miracles, then we're preventing ourselves from seeing them. And like I said, this isn't about religion. This isn't about anything other than you feeling that love and you tuning into this belief that there is something out there that is so much more powerful than us. I don't know how people get through hard times without believing in something. And so I am here every day to remind